So Morrison has a bit of a reputation as a ticket trap, because it is. 98% of police calls initiated by officers were traffic stops last year. The town was hoping to bring in more than $1 million in ticket revenue. The new police chief told town leaders that wasn't possible, and she resigned 2 days later. Our Mark Salinger looks at how some towns get addicted to tickets.
The town of Morrison is looking for yet another police chief. Misty Siderfin leaves the job Thursday after resigning just 3 months after she was hired. The pressure to keep up with the infamous ticket trap may have played a big role. At a board meeting on October 5th, she told town leaders the department would bring in $300,000 worth of fines this year, more than $800,000 less than the town had budgeted for. 2 days later, she submitted her letter of resignation.
The entire budget was based on traffic tickets, and ethically, I could not do that.
George Mumma knows her predicament well. He was the chief of police in Morrison for nearly 3 years, but retired in August of 2020 after he says the town manager wanted his department to write more tickets instead of focus on community policing. Mumma is now working again as a commander at Edgewater PD and a Republican candidate for Jefferson County Sheriff.
And I know that during my time there, our budget continually dropped because we weren't bringing in traffic tickets.
The town of Morrison commissioned a report this year from a Denver consulting firm to evaluate the department. It found officers were pressured to write traffic tickets to subsidize the town's budget. In 2021, nearly half of the town's $2.6 million in revenue was projected to come from fines. The other half came from taxes, along with other smaller sources of revenue.
I guess I don't know how a little town like Morrison gets out of that sort of addiction.
Lonnie Schabel is a professor at CU Denver, focusing on policing. He says any town that focuses solely on writing tickets can face problems.
I think it pushes a lot of potentially abusive behavior.
Robert Preuss has a similar outlook. He's the chair of the political science department at MSU Denver.
Ultimately, modern policing is about more than just generating revenue by giving tickets. And anytime you're making those trade-offs, moving personnel away from ticketing, you're risking your revenue stream.
Morrison will now pay the Jeffco Sheriff's Office more than $20,000 a month to run patrols in the area, as Mumma waits to see if his former department will return.
If I was to look at it now with what's going on, there's no way I would take that job. It's too demanding for what they're asking, and I don't see a way to recover from it.
One of the recommendations the report made was to close down the department completely and let the Jeffco Sheriff's Office take over permanently. The report said that would be a solution, of course, to the town's dependence on writing traffic tickets for revenue. Of course, the town would then have to find a new way to make money. Kyle, the mayor told us last night that they don't plan to close the department down.
So what happened during the pandemic when there were no cars on the road? Were Morrison police out helping people, doing other stuff?
Yeah, Mumma was still chief for part of it up until August of 2020, and he said that the town wanted them to still go out on C-470 and try and catch speeders. Of course, as we all know, there weren't a whole lot of cars on the highway at that time, so they didn't see a whole lot of people.
Wow. Well, that's interesting. The town is very adamant that they're going to keep a police force, a.k.a. revenue generation department.
They need the money.
Yeah. Interesting stuff. It's interesting, really, to see the hard numbers. Mark, thank you.